Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of Yakusoku no Neverland, or you could call it the Promised Neverland on episode 7. Now, this episode right here looked really simple, although the way I looked at it, there might be some details. Those who read the manga or watched the anime up to this point will figure out that there are certain details that are very important in this episode. Though, it could be unlikely, but who knows? Whatever happened, but the ending of this episode, Miles says otherwise. So if anything else, let's just get this started. We have to it that Sister Krone wants to strike a deal with the kids, Dawn, Gilda, Norman, and Emma about this. Although Norman was very close to shaking hands with her, Emma says, why should we even believe you in the first place? And then she reveals some of her own secrets where she actually got number 2, and she has a scar in her chest apparently, and explains that she got implanted, etc. And unfortunately, should something go off or something go bad or something, that thing will literally stop your body from moving or just shut you down completely. In other words, it could kill you. But aside from that, we also get to know that only women or certain females are allowed to become mothers, etc. Which I wonder to my fact, what is it that they had to have in order to be a mother? And this involves test scores, how good your brain is, how smart you are, or how ridiculously stupid. It's like 2 ways to go: either become a mother or die. I don't know, but one thing for sure is is that Emma decides to ask one question to Sister Krone, why are you doing this, etc. And we have to it that Krone wants to live the best life possible, knowing that where she's at and how she got here, she just can't ruin it now, etc. But we also get to know Emma ask her a question: how do we know that you won't betray us? And Sister Krone says, well, Ray's got me at the bottom of my neck, and I got him at his neck. So pretty much it's like this: if one betrays the other, we're all destined to up or die or something about that, in simple words. So we see to it that although she's also inclined to share any other information, etc., we see to it that the meeting between Ray, Norman, Emma, Gilda, and Dawn have a little small talk about this, about what Krone wants or something, and we see to it that Emma doesn't give a about her, as she goes she doesn't care about these kids at all. So what the hell is the dang point? That kind of thing. And we see to it that this gets a little bit risky. I mean, you can trusting an adult, especially when she knows about your secrets here and there. It's pretty pressuring. I mean, you don't even know what they are thinking, but you gotta make sure you gotta think like them and figure out how to strike back. So we see to it that Emma and Norman decide to talk with Sister Krone. We got to they ask a couple questions involving the headquarters and the farm, and what about the tool that tracks us, And we see to it that Sister Krone decides to show it to Emma and Norman as promised, to answer any question and to show it to them. And we see to it that they realize that it is that same thing, or pocket watch, however you want to call it, is what Mama Isabella is carrying, etc., And eventually, we get to know that the tracking devices are actually located in your left ear, which apparently that gave us the obvious hint, or obvious thing, when Emma took a look at one baby's ear, and it looks like it has a big pimple or a big bump behind its left ear. And we get to know that if you try to break it, it will send out a signal, and that will alert everything, and also it will alert the headquarters, etc. You even try to break it. So you could break them, but you either have to take it out or cut it off, which is really, really crazy. I mean, someone could track your butt down, etc. That's gonna be out of the line. And we see to it that Norman says that I don't think there's anything that will be able to cut this thing, And Krone explains that there's a medical knife of a scalpel, etc. But Norman says, I don't think that's going to be a good idea, because if we do that, we're going to bleed from infection and blood loss, etc., And we see to it that that there is no medicine, etc. And we see to it that Krone explains, there is some medication here and there, but I'm going to tell you right now, there's only going to be about 5 people in it, And we get to know that Cronin is actually 26 years old and that she was raised at Gracefield and not somewhere in the plant tree whatsoever. And something about like there are humans outside who haven't been eaten, but they actually make deals with the demons whatsoever. Somehow these humans or something, etc., have a connection to these guys, and they can like make a deal. And I'm thinking in my mind, what the heck? Are you kidding me right now? And Emma does ask a question, so you don't know how long the demons have been around? And Cronin says, no, I don't know, you know? Where's this house located? And Cronin does not know. And is there any security? But she says, I know about that, but that there isn't much of it. And something about the tracking devices, and of course, like, Cronin does tell Norman and Emma about don't you already know about the tracking devices? Learn how to break them. You know, the fact of your actions actually provide certain information. Like you talk in the groups, you talk weird. You know, you actually give a lot of information just by standing around. You guys understand that, right? Your attitude, gaze, blinking, sweat, gestures, pupils, and pulse is what gives it away. And yet you two, even though you say that you know where the tracking devices are, you still haven't checked if there is. But aside from that, that's about it. And they, of course, they leave right away. And Ray gets a photograph or something about taking a camera. You know those old school cameras that uses film. You take a picture, then the picture comes out, and then you just wave it a bit, and then, yeah, you guys get the point. Ray got like a camera or something, but those old school cameras, you know, etc. But aside from that, we see to it that Ray ends up making his plans right now because, well, the next day comes about and Ray is trying to tell his plan to like Dawn, Gilda, Norman, and Emma right now because time is short and they have to be quick about it because sooner or later he's gonna get shipped and he will distract mama as best as he can, you know, that kind of thing. As for Crone, she is actually looking for something, or possibly like looking forward to betraying the kids, you know. And she does go into the kids' room and been looking for some information here and there. And Phil does look at Sister Cronin for a bit as she's cleaning up the floor, as she makes it as an excuse. And she ends up finding some kind of note involving like maybe Isabella's weakness whatsoever. And we see to it that Ray does smile at Norman and Emma because this is what he planned out. And Cronin is happy to figure out a certain weakness about like Isabella. Of course, Isabella does knock on the door, which we didn't know who that was yet. As Cronin ends up putting everything away, she ends up Isabella does have a little knife in her hands and ends up giving Cronin the knife and a letter to go take a look at it, you know. And we see to it that like it's from headquarters. You should take a look at it. Blah blah blah. And eventually, like we see to it that Sister Cronin opens it, reads it, and realizes that in shock or to our own terror or horror, we see to it that Isabella says, it's unfortunate, but that's how it is. Goodbye, and it ends off there. I'm thinking in my mind, what the hell just happened? And Cronin can only sweat in fear or in terror right now after what she just read, etc., you know? So, overall, the episode itself just kind of got a little crazy with its own, like, ways of doing things. Well, not too crazy if I'm overthinking it, overhyping it too much, but Sister Cronin making a deal with the kids, and they end up asking her questions at night. That's Norman and Emma. Ray gets a camera, and he sets up, I think he possibly might have set up Sister Cronin for something what's going to happen to her, due to the fact that he put some kind of note at Norman underneath the cabinet whatsoever, and whatever the case may be. And Isabella ends up giving Sister Cronin a letter and a knife, and we see to it Sister Cronin can only like be in shock or in terror after what she just read, and Isabella says that's how it is. It's unfortunate, but goodbye, etc. from headquarters. So yeah, that's about it, people. Don't know what's about to happen next, but we're gonna have to find out next time. So until then, I will see you guys in the next video. I'm Alpha Zero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-oo!